like West Ham Testament. You don't want to see the gang vex, man. Pull up in 2-litre dingers and press that.
Selling black, going ham in West like Declan Rice. Doing like popcorn, everything nice. Whoa.
You ready?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, we'll go.
Okay. Right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hammers Fans United and welcome back to one from each team. It's been a little while since we've done this and we've got a new sort of setup, new graphics, and I'm joined by a very special guest. Some of you may not know him, and you know, a lot of the people that watch this channel obviously know who this is. This is Kieran, aka Harry Geezer, aka the Hammers Fans United mascot. Kieran, I'm going to let you, the brief description and introduction of yourself, just for those that, you know, don't know you, and then we'll get cracking, yeah.
My name's Kieran. I live in Brisbane, Australia, in the state of Queensland. So I do a little bit with Peachy on Random and a bit with Titch on the reviews of the shows and our predictions of what's going to happen. And I've sort of slowly been doing bits and pieces with you boys.
Yep. Right. Obviously, you're not originally from Australia. So where did you grow up?
Yeah, I'm an East Ham boy. Even though our postcode is East Ham, I grew up in a road called Elizabeth Road, which is about a 3-minute walk to Upton Park Station. My house actually backed onto the tube line, you know, in my garden. And when I used to kick the ball over the fence, it was on the tube line. So I had to go and get it. So many times, even though my mother was disgusted and slapped me about for going over there. But you had to get the ball back, didn't you? And I used to be able to see the floodlights from my bedroom window when I was 5, 6, and 7. The night games were special for me because I'd sit at my window upstairs and just look at the floodlights and all the smoke coming out of the ground, and you could hear the roars from my house. You could hear the roars of the crowd, and you used to be able to try and guess the score from the roar. You know, was that a big enough roar for a goal? Was it? You know, things like that. It was, and that got you going. Then you obviously couldn't wait to be old enough to go and watch a game.
So you used to follow West Ham up and down the country in, you know, a time where football fans didn't have a good reputation. So you was like, you know, you was in the era of, it would have been rough, like, you know, sticky situations, like often.
Very much so.
Yeah. So, you know, I, you know, the word legend and that gets thrown about. I would class you as a legend. Like, for what we're doing, this is West Ham Fan Channel. I'm more than that. I'm more than just West Ham. I like football and game shows and all that. But I would call you a legend because, you know, like you said, you grew up literally at the ground. You know, you could feel the atmosphere. You could see the lights. You could hear the crowd. And then, obviously, from very young, you was following the team up and down the country. You know, I've heard some of your stories on Football Unfocused in regards to, you know, the shenanigans, we call it, you know, on the trains, windows getting smashed and all that. So even your story where was it Everton? No, Aston Villa, when you were sitting in the away end and there's like 100 of you. And then when we scored, you sort of, was it Aston Villa? It was. Yeah, it was.
It was Aston Villa at home, in the quarter-final with the FA Cup in 80. Yeah. Where we snuck into the South Bank, about 100 of us, and stood behind the goal in the South Bank, and that was a good day. You know, about 4,000 Villa fans around us, and a very thin line of police.
And what were they throwing? Did you say bottles, or what were they throwing at you when you started celebrating?
Yeah, there was a few bottles, coins, and whatever they could find. But they didn't have the bottle. Funnily enough, we thought they would come at us.
Yeah.
But when the final whistle did blow, you've shown when we done the Unfocus, you got up the video of it. I was going crazy when Ray Stewart scored the goal that put us into the semi-final of the FA Cup, and you see us all going 100 behind. And that great camera shot from the South Bank looking down on us.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show the, the 3,000 or 4,000 Villa fans
What they're doing. Yeah.
trying to get at us. And if they'd filmed more, what happened then? Villa fans did try to have a push at us and have a pop, and there was a few little scuffles through the police line going on. And then everybody from the west side and the chicken run just jumped on the pitch, right, to come across, and Villa fans just disappeared.
Yeah, they didn't want it. So was that 1980, or was it a different year? That
1980, yeah.
Right. So obviously we went on to win the cup, and that was our last major. So was it worth getting those bottles and that thrown at you that we ended up winning the cup?
Yeah, right. It was the best place to be. Isn't it? South Bank on that day was the best place to be as a West Ham fan, because you really could give it to the Villa fans, especially at the end. That game had a draw written all over it. No one was ever going to win that game. It was. We were going back to Villa Park for the replay. We'd all resigned ourselves to that, everyone. And he said, fuck it. This was a chance to get to a semi-final. We've blown it. And for some mad reason, their centre-half, when that cross came in, put his hand up. He hit his hand. And I remember I've seen an interview of Alvin Martin since, because he said, I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought it was crazy. He said, but the referee gave it. But in today's game, it definitely, VAR would see that.
Course.
He had his hand on my field. Now, back then, there used to be a different criteria for handball. It was, did he mean to do it? And if he didn't mean to handball it, it wouldn't be given. I don't think he meant to do it. I think his hand got knocked up there. So a lot of the times that wouldn't be given. But that referee pointed to the spot for a change. We got one. And we always knew that Ray Stewart had turned up that year. I think, was it Dundee? And he was the record signing from a young player. I think it cost us 400 grand or something. It was a big signing. But when he came to take penalties, it was you couldn't rely on anyone else here.
No doubt.
He's bashing at him, mate. He just smashes him in. So and then we just behind that goal as well, to watch that behind that goal, the perfect spot to be, and him banging it in, we just went for the fantastic day. Fantastic.
So I like hearing your stories, and like I said, for what we do, you have to fall into the legend category. You have to, in my opinion. And thankfully, there was an opportunity for me to somehow make you the channel mascot, and might not mean nothing to people, but like I said, it's for your journey.
I'm very honoured.
It's definitely is a way of trying to pay homage. And I've said this before, if and when we finally get into merchandise and all of that stuff, then your face is going to be all over the place, because that will be I will put that character on the screen in editing, so anybody that hasn't seen it, you can see the resemblance to Kieran. But I'll do that so it'll be on the screen now as we're talking, but it's not here on our screen at the minute. Right, so great introduction, and me and Kieran regularly are on streams together, but I haven't done this concept for a while, and it'll be interesting to learn Kieran's team on camera, because I don't know it. I know he's goalkeeper, I think. He's starting goalkeeper. Other than that, I don't know. And, I prefer it like that. So, Kieran, can you tell me which club we're going to for your first substitute? And then I'll put them on the screen.
Yeah. I will put this caveat in. I am a attack-minded sort of coach.
That's good.
This substitution bench might not be the most balanced. I just like flair and
all out attack. That's good.
Yeah, mainly. Yeah, I did change one because I thought, no, this is too much. I've got to have some cover for maybe a defender. So I did change one from what I originally wrote down. But we start with a goalkeeper, and that's another thing. I did want to have a good goalkeeper on the pitch and off the pitch. So, West Ham now, because at the moment, I don't think we realise how lucky we are to have Fabianski and Areola.
Exactly.
Even if we're not playing in the Premier League the games, if he goes down, Fabian, I'm not bothered. We've got Areola.
Exactly.
When with Randolph, I was concerned when Fabianski was injured. I was really concerned. So now I'm not. And it does give you a peace of mind about the goalkeeper then.
You need that. You need it. You need two
That's
top
why-
keepers. Right.
I think I've gone for two good goalkeepers.
So remember,
So-
you always specify the club, then I get them up, and then you, yeah. So which club for that
Right.
goalkeeper?
Right, so the club I'm going to is Everton.
Okay,
And,
1 second. Let me put them up. There we go. Right, who and why? It's obvious, but
Yeah, this is Jordan Pickford. As much of the stick he gets from a lot of people, I think a lot of it's unwarranted. I think he's a top keeper. He even if he has got short arms, the boy's a great shot stopper. He's a great shot stopper, mate. He didn't get England goalkeeper shirt for nothing. No,
Yeah.
everyone knows it. I think half his problem has been Everton. They've been a team in a bit of a turmoil for the last few years. They're all over the place. You know, they remind me a bit of Man United, where it's, you know, behind the scenes a bigger problem but on the pitch.
yeah.
And they've been struggling. They've been bringing managers in. They've been sacking managers. They've never been settled. And half the problem Everton aren't doing as well as they are is that. But I think Pickford's been a great servant to a good goalkeeper. And if he had a better back four, he'd be regarded as one of the top goalkeepers. So I'm delighted to have him. And I picked him
Right.
over a lot,
Yep.
a lot of Everton
Yep.
players
Yeah.
that I think, you know, are good enough to be in this team. So that's how highly I rate him.
What I would say is you've probably, if my memory serves me correct, you've probably picked the strongest substitute goalie because he's England's #1. And, you know, that in itself says a lot. And, you know, the people that have come before you, I think on their bench, there's no way they had a keeper of that caliber. So I'm going to put my neck on the line and say you've picked the strongest sub goalkeeper. All right. That's a good start. So which club for your second substitute?
Right. This boy, again, I'm going to go to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
1 second. There we go. Yep.
And this is the guy I was humming and hawing about because I took the forward off for him just to give me some colour for the back. And it's Connor Cody
Okay.
from there. I think Cody at times can look a bit suspect. And that's why I wouldn't have had him in my first team. But I think he is a good centre half. And I think he has made the England team. He has had appearances. He is good. I think he's could be better in a better team. And, yeah, I'd like him. I wouldn't mind him at West Ham. I think Moyes would really get a tune out of him. I think he's a good lad. And
Yep.
I think he'll get a big move at one. Sooner or later, I think he'll be moving on to a bigger club. So I'm quite happy to have him as cover.
Right. So
in the back line.
what I would say is, I know that some people have. I think Gatesy put him in his starting lineup. He's also an England international on your bench. And just for the sake of the show, who was the person you took out to put him in? Which was from Wolves? Who was the forward player?
Well, now, again, before I slipped for him, I was between Traore and Jimenez.
Yes.
So it was actually Jimenez that I went for. And just to give me more power up front, because like I said, I'm trying to pick a really attacking side. But really, it was a toss up between Traore and Jimenez. I'd still like to have Traore on there, but I went for the goal scorer because before his injury, I thought he looked as good as anyone in the Premier
Definitely.
League. Maybe not Salah, but he did look as good as a centre forward. I mean, a proper centre forward. That when you put that ball in it, he gets on the end of it. That's what I liked about him. You can rely on him to move well, to anticipate well, and score goals. So yeah, Jimenez probably would have been my pick in front of Traore.
So why didn't you just put them both in the team then? You know, that's why I love this concept. There's so much and ahhing and oh shit, now I've got to take him out. Right, so you've got two England internationals on your bench and they're both part of your back line. Which club are we going to for your third substitute?
Right. I'll take another forward. I'll go Brentford.
Brentford. Ooh, 1 second. Brentford is here. Okay.
And I'll give the obvious one because I don't think this boy's anywhere near as good as he's going to be at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's Ivan Toney. I pick him in because I think he's got potential to be really good. I think he's at the, he's at a good little side that he's only going to get limited chances to score goals. But they're a compact little side, Brentford. I mean, once he moves, which he will at some stage, I think he'll start to shine. I don't think you'll see the best of him yet. I think he'll come good under another team and another system. But, so I went for Toney. There was a couple of other Brentford players that I thought about, but I just gone for him. I went, no, this is an attacking team I'm picking. So he's in there.
Yep.
And that's one reason I sort of dropped Jimenez. I went, which one, Toney or Jimenez? I can't have 10 forwards on the bench. So that's why I went for Ivan Toney.
Yep. And I'm sure I'm right in saying he is, though thus far he could still represent England, can't he? He hasn't represented any other international team, has he?
I don't know. Yeah.
So okay, we'll say you got 3 English players on your bench because I'm sure he hasn't represented nobody else. And everybody rates Ivan Toney. He's got a lot of potential, and I agree that put him in a better club, and that's no disrespect to Brentford, and you will see a completely different player. So definitely a great player to have on your bench, and there's even more attackers to come. I know this. Right, so
Brentford might be a good team for him to cut his teeth with, to get there. I think it's a good stepping stone, Brentford. They're a cracking club. And I think it's a good stepping stone for him. And when he establishes himself in the Premier League, and I think Brentford will, they'll be up this year. They won't be going down. I think it'll be a good stepping stone for him. Someone will come in for him at some stage, I think.
Definitely.
Who it is, I don't know. But I think then maybe when he plays in a better team, I think he'll excel.
Yep. Right, so your 4th sub, which club, Kieran?
This one, I'm going to go to Burnley.
There they are. Yep.
And this is where I was trying to get some kind of balance on the bench because I didn't want so many attacking players, but I had to. And it's a guy that he's annoyed me, but I think he'll still be good enough. He's still good enough for my bench, and it's Mr. Tarkowski, Tarks, as they like to call him. I'm not sure because he turned us down. I've just got that in my back of the head. Bollocks to him. But I think again he's another player in a better team. I think he'd be better. And I think he's wallowing there at Burnley. He's just treading more, and I'm not sure he's up for the fight there. Because I think he can see the writing on the wall at every chance now. When a team like Burnley, I don't know what he's thinking when Burnley sell. Probably their only striker they had fit in Chris Woods,
and
they sell him when they're battling relegation. I mean that was the writing's on the wall now. Tarkowski has to get out of there because there's no ambition there. There's absolutely no ambition at Burnley. So I think that guy, whether it be under Moyes or whether it be under another manager, I think he will get better. I don't think he's anywhere near the potential he's got. I don't think he's playing particularly brilliant at Burnley, but he is a good centre half. It has been recognised. He is a good centre half. He just needs to be at a better club as well, a club with more ambition. So
I'm just gonna.
I've picked him, and that gives me a bit more cover for my defence.
1 second, Kieran. I'm just going to check something. Because I'm sure he's also English, but he can play for someone else. Yeah. So he's, according to this, I know he can play for another country. I don't know if it's Poland or what, but England. Has he represented England, I know he's...
I don't know. I wonder. Has he had any of them friendlies or anything? Had a kick? No, I can't remember.
I'm sure he got called up, but I don't know if he's actually played. Anyway, but so it looks like you got 4. Well, you've got 4 English players on your bench.
By accident.
Yeah. So your 5th substitute. Which club are we going to? So far, you got a strong bench, by the way.
So reasonably strong. Well, I'll carry on that strength, right? I'll go to Crystal Palace.
Ooh.
Right.
I know you're going to pick. I bet I know you're going to pick. 1 second.
You know, I bet you do, but maybe you know.
Wait,
Two or three,
let me find them first. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Sorry. I think I know, and I'll tell you if it's the guy. If it's this
is the
left
guy.
footer.
This is the guy I nearly put in the starting team. That close. That close.
I think
and
the left
I'm not
footer.
sure if I shouldn't have done. I maybe should have done, but it's Conor Gallagher.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking of you know, the wide player that came on against us when we beat him 3-2.
Yeah,
I thought that's who you, Elise. I thought that's who you would have picked.
Elise.
Okay, Elise, that's
You
it.
know, I really considered him, but that's probably I've seen him in 2 games.
Yeah,
And both
he's
games
still
were
new.
really good. And that's all I've seen of him.
It's not enough. Yeah.
I think I'll be jumping the gun by just going, yep, he's good enough, get him in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher, though, it's a good shout. What was the
Conor
reason for
Gallagher,
that?
mate, I know. Unfortunately, he's still part of Chelsea's setup, isn't he? And he's on loan to Palace. That's the truth, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
So I think, under Vieira there as well, he's shining of it. I think a bit. He's looking good. He's looking good. The boy looks like he's going to be a big player. Whether that be with Chelsea or they end up selling him to Palace or someone else comes in, I think there'll be clubs interested in him.
Definitely.
Without that, there'll be definitely clubs interested in him. He's a good player. Now, like I say, I'm 50-50 whether to put him on. But on the first team, but he's on the bench, and that really strengthens my bench.
Of course,
I've got a fairly strong bench so far, and I mean, he's good enough to play in any first team. I think at the moment, from I'd say 5 down, he'd probably play for most teams. You know.
Yeah, and we are currently 4th, so from 4th down, he could definitely play.
Well, at the moment, at the moment, he could get a game for us, no problem at all.
So another English player, and another quality player as well. So 5. All right, which club for your 6th substitution?
Right, we're going to Leeds United. DDD.
Disabled team in the house. There they are.
Yeah, he might be disappointed that he didn't make the first team, but again, there's another cracking attacking player. Doesn't always perform for Leeds as he should, but that happens with creative players like him. And it's Rafinha.
Yep.
Right, Rafinha is when he's on his game, mate, he's dynamite. He's deadly. If you went back to any team that plays him, if you've done a review, who are you most scared of in the Leeds team? Nearly most people say Rafinha.
Yeah.
Because they know how dangerous he is. And I think he was part of the reason we lost to him the other day. We lost 3-2. He was a big part of that. So he's always a danger. Cracking player. And I hope for Leeds' sake they keep hold of him, because I think they're going to need it.
I think he's a quality player. Like, I really, really like him. Not only what he does during the game, but from set pieces and dead balls and that. He's got that as well. I just want to check something. I know he's Brazilian, but I want to know. Rafinha. I want to see. He must have played for Brazil, innit? 1 sec. Rafinha. He must have played for them, innit? He has played for Brazil. Brazil. Yes, he has. Okay, yeah. I knew he was, but I'm double checking. So, yeah, Brazilian international, left-footed attacking player that on his day could play in... he's just as good as Mahrez, so he could play in any of the teams, I believe, in Premier League. Mahrez might score more goals to him, but I mean, he's of that ilk, I believe.
It's nice to have a free kick. I try to have a free kick specialist on the pitch, and I wanted at least one on my bench.
Yeah,
right? And he can be that. Another player I'm going to mention in a minute, he can be that. So,
I know who that is. I know who that
you
is.
do know, yeah.
Yeah. So Rafinha, great pick. Yeah. And Rafinha is, to be on your bench. It is a very, very strong bench. I'm guessing, Kieran, we are going to Southampton next.
Yes, indeedy, you are. You've got him already. I mean, everyone would pick this boy for their bench and not quite the first team.
Yep. And
right, and it'd be common because he looks like he's sort of one step away from being, automatic first step. He's that close.
Yep.
What I do like and not like about him is he can be a nasty little git at times. But if he was playing for us, I'd be happy. And it's obviously James Ward-Prowse.
Yep.
And his free kicks are second to none, really. If you've got him, to bring him on off the bench to come on, boys, and try and win free kicks and just leave him to it. Let him have a go. Scored an absolute beauty the other day, didn't he? Just
crazy goal.
From 30-odd yards out.
I think they said 35. I don't know if it was, but they said 35 initially.
And the keeper couldn't get anywhere near it. It was an absolute screamer. So I love the fact that I could have him to bring him on if I was coaching, going, right, boy, we get a free kick, you bang it in. That'll get us a win.
Corners as well.
Corners as well. He's another one. He's another one who can whip in a corner to get you a goal. All set pieces, that goal. But he is a bit nasty. I've noticed in his game. He does like leave a boot in here and there. Like to be a bit horrible. But that is annoying when you're playing against them. But if you had him in your team, I think you'd like that little bit of spite. You know, I want players to do that. I don't want them to be pulling out tackles. He's not one for that. He gets in. He gets stuck.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's happy to mix it up with the big boys. So, yeah, I think he's a great player to have on my bench.
100%. Another England international. And I'm sure he's made everybody's bench. I said, I think on the last... No, not with Cam's. The one before. I think I said the reason why he's not at a top 4, top 5 club is because of his transfer value. I think they put 50 or 60 mil on him, and for any club to pay that much, he's got to go straight into your starting team, and I don't think he does go straight in. So I think Southampton was smart in the valuation, but because I think it's priced him out of a move, because if you spend that type of money, you've got to put him in your starting team. But
that sounds like a valuation is that they don't want to lose him, doesn't it?
Exactly. And the fact that he's made everybody's bench, and everybody's like, he could have made my team, but it shows you he's a quality player. And for one person, for one team to make everybody's bench, speaks volumes. So it's not a surprise when people say James Ward-Prowse. That's the obvious candidate, and for good reason. Right, how many is that? 7? Is that 7?
7, yeah. What have I got left? Yeah, I've got 2 left.
All right. Which club for your 8th substitute?
I'm going to go to Norwich.
Norwich. There we go.
And Norwich, now I'm sort of looking at Norwich and saying, Norwich are a hard team to pick a player from because where they are. But what I did notice is a guy that came on against West Ham when we beat them, and he looked dangerous, really good. And I've seen him a couple of times before, and I thought, man, this boy's got potential, and it's the potential I'm picking here. And his name, I think, it's Ida.
Adam Ida. He started against us. He came off. They took him off. Adam Ida.
Yeah. And that shows you what I thought about him, because when they took him off, and I didn't realise apparently he did have a calf strain, but when he took him off, I was delighted. I knew he'd won the game. Because he was the only boy that was going to score goals against us. He was really causing us problems. So, that's another attacking player I can have who's probably got a lot of potential and not what he's doing now, but it looks like the boy's got a lot of potential.
Definitely. I think he's a Scottish international. I think. It's either Scottish or Irish. Let me just check. Just to see, the strength you're picking internationals, obviously. Adam Ida. 1 sec. Might be Scotland. 1 second, Kieran. Fucking thing's taking all day. Norwich. I can get rid of this. Norwich squad. Okay, so he's Republic of Ireland international.
Really? I didn't realise that.
So,
I normally know the sort of Republic teams because I do take a bit of notice, you know, considering my heritage. So I always look to take a look at them. But wow, I didn't realise. There you go.
Yeah, like,
but yeah, he does. He does look like. I mean, it was simple to pick Pookie, but I've seen Pookie in the Premier League now. I've seen him have his purple patch and then nothing. To me, no, he's not good enough to be consistent enough to be on that bench. This Idah, I do believe, just watching him, has got potential to be a better player or play for a better club than Norwich.
Exactly, and he's only 20. He's a full international, 20 years of age, doing it in the Premier League, and he did look dangerous against us. And the fact you've got Tony on your bench, why would you? Yeah, you wouldn't need someone like Pookie, like, because he's not going to get on. You understand? You're not going to go, let's put on Pookie and Tony. So yeah, there's no point. Not. So yeah, he's an Irish international. So that's another international player on your bench. Right, now, this is your last player. So I've got to be a winger or a striker. Which club? And then us.
Well, I didn't go. Yeah, this is another one I settled for maybe a bit more balance.
Oh, okay.
And I know this guy is probably wouldn't be in many people's thoughts, but it's
which club?
It's for Watford.
Okay, Watford. There we go.
But I've seen him over the years, and he's a guy I always liked, and it's Sissoko.
Musa, yeah, I like him. I do like him.
I've always liked him, and I love the way he punches the ball forward, tries to make things up, tries to get the team going. He's tough, boy. He might be near the end of it now, and playing for Watford's not helping. But I've always liked the boy. You know, he's always a player I thought, God, I wouldn't, you know, I'd have him in our team anytime. You know, I'm not sure what his age is now, Titch, but he just always liked him. And again, out of that Watford team, there's not many I'll pick out of it. There's a couple, but I just like, you know, in the midfield, you want a bit of go forward. This boy gives you that.
32. And, he's 32.
32, yeah. When he was in his prime, I really liked him. When he was at Tottenham, I thought he was a great player, man.
Yeah. Engine, man. Powerful. Yeah.
He works up, man. Strong. Physical. Yep. Like it, yeah. So I went for Musa Sissoko, and I'll be happy to have him on my bench.
No, definitely. And looking at your bench, you've got you probably needed someone like that as a, you know, if need be, a centre midfielder, defensive midfielder, energy and that. So yeah, you have definitely balanced it up. I thought because you'd got to Idah, I thought, the next one will be another striker. I thought you were doing it like that. I was thinking, but yeah, so Sissoko makes sense. Someone that type of player, you know, like a Czech Kouyaté or Musa Sissoko, someone in there. But obviously, you're picking from Watford. So I would say it's a strong bench. It is balanced. You haven't got no fullbacks, but you've got 2 centre backs. Right, let's just go back through it again. This is what we do. Sorry, I ain't done this. Right, so in goal, you've got England international from Everton, Jordan Pickford. We'll go with your 2 centre backs. You've got Conor Cody from Wolves, England international, and James Tarkowski from Burnley, who I believe is an England international. Then let's go for your centre midfielder, more sort of engine, which is Musa Sissoko from Watford. Your centre midfielders, orthodox, would be James Ward-Prowse from Southampton. And then someone who plays probably slightly in front of him is Conor Gallagher from Crystal Palace, who's more of an attacking midfielder who, you know, gets goals, obviously. From Crystal Palace. Oh, no, we picked Gallagher. Right, you've got Adam Idah from Norwich, who plays as a sort of wide forward. He's only 20 years old, Irish international, and like you've said already, he's got a lot of potential. You're right. Before Ivan Toney, obviously new to the Premier League. Every division he's played in, he's stood out, and he's cutting his teeth in the Premier League with a smaller club. He's still looking apart, and there's definitely still more to come. Who was your last sub, Kieran? Sorry.
Rafinha.
That's it. Oh my days. Okay, right. So for me, that's your jewel in the crown on the bench. He's a game changer for me, and Brazilian international. I think he's probably going to leave Leeds this season because I think he's going to have a lot of top clubs after him, and I think he will move on.
I'd be quite happy to have that bench as a team. Put a couple more
Yeah,
players
of course.
in there.
Exactly. So that is definitely a strong bench, very strong.
I might have got this the wrong way around, mate.
Don't let me down. Anticlimactic. You've got him here and he's on the bench, right? So, but yeah, that's a strong bench. That is,
we
like I said,
we might have to pause this while I change it around.
and rewind. The whole point of this show is you get into manager mode, and then, if the Premier Leagues were 20-man squads and they were with this concept, how would your squad stand up? And so far, that bench is definitely a very, very strong bench. So the only person that I know is your goalkeeper, because I saw your, when you sent it through, and after that, I didn't want to know. So, right. So we've gone through the bench, and now this is the juicy part. 1 minute. So obviously, yeah. Nitty gritty, and this one is always obvious. Once you say which club for your keeper, then it's obvious, unless they've got 2 world-class goalies. Right, so, Kieran, juicy bit. For your goalkeeper, which club are we going to, my friend?
Right, we're going to Chelsea.
Yeah, so, 1 second. There we go. Chelsea.
And I will say, before we announce the team, I'm a bit old school when it comes to defend first and then attack second, right? But what I mean by that is I believe in that spine. I believe in having 3 to 4 players right through the middle from back to front that are a real spine of good players. And and then I want my centre halves then, one or the other one then to do a job. So this is how I start with that, and I just built from that spine of a team first. And that was my first 4 pick. So it's obviously Mendy from Chelsea. I think apart from that, he's injured at the moment. But at the beginning of the season, he's been missing for that.
No, he's at AFCON.
Aaron Balaga's playing at the moment. He's been missing.
No, it's because he's at AFCON. He's gone to the African Nations.
Oh, is that where he is? I thought he was injured.
Yeah. No. After the 2-2 with Liverpool, then there was a picture of him and Mane on the plane. No, so they've gone from opponents to teammates within hours, because now they're going for Senegal.
I just thought I heard the commentator say he'd been injured. I must have misheard him. So in that beginning, but until they came to play us, at the London Stadium, they'd only conceded 3 goals all season, and he was one of the reasons for that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we put 3 past him, and he probably didn't have his best day.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think the boy is just one of the best keepers in the league, in the division, if not the best. I think the only goalkeeper on form that's better than him is De Gea. And the reason De Gea is the best in the league is he's placing more shots than any other club in the division, would you believe? He's made
exactly.
De Gea's made more saves than anyone. Second is Fabianski. And that tells you where your defence are,
Exactly.
If you're facing that many shots and that many saves. But Mendy, I think, is a superb keeper. And I'll be happy to have him any day of the week. Mate.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
100%. That's
And I've foregone a lot of top Chelsea players to have him in there.
Yep.
So it was important for me. I wanted to get the keeper I wanted. And I've let go a lot of great Chelsea players that I could have had. And one particularly I wanted. But I sacrificed the Chelsea centre-half for him.
Who was that one? Thiago Silva?
It was Rudiger.
Oh, Rudiger. Yeah. Okay.
I'd have had Rudiger if not him.
Yep. And that's the thing. You can only pick one. But it's a great pick. I rate him. I rate him highly. I mean, on their day, it's a toss-up between him, Ederson, and Alisson for me. They've got different qualities, but his reflexes and yeah. I mean, they're different goalkeepers, but you know, on any given day, you could pick any of them. But he's a top keeper, man, and he's made a difference to Chelsea. He was needed, and he's adapted to the Premier League like instantly. Some keepers take a while, but he's sort of straight in. So I like him. I really like him as a keeper.
Well,
So
when you think they paid, the guy, was it Zarabalaga or whatever he pronounced his name?
yeah.
Well, he's deputising now, and he cost, what did he cost, £70 million?
A lot of money.
And you know what I mean? 2 seasons ago, they're pulling their hair out how bad he was. As a keeper for £70 million. I don't know who come up with that bad way. But
that's crazy.
And then Mendy comes in and just steadies the ship.
Yeah.
And Chelsea have been a better team ever since he's been there. And I think Liverpool, to me, done exactly that. That they saw the deficiencies in their team why they couldn't win the league, and they brought in Van Dijk and Alisson.
Yep.
And they were the 2 pieces missing out of Liverpool, and they went to win the league and the Champions League on the strength of that.
Exactly.
So it is important. It's very important, that goalkeeper to win anything. You need him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chelsea went on win a Champions League themselves, didn't they?
Exactly. So
there you go.
he's a difference maker. You know, sometimes where he hasn't got much to do, he pulls out the save. And then I see against Brentford, he was man of the match because he was making a lot of, game-winning saves. You understand? So, whether he's quiet, he still makes the saves, when he's had nothing to do. Or if he's busy, generally, he's saving everything. So, yeah, I rate him highly. And obviously, he is a better keeper than Pickford. So, that's a strong starting point. Right, so, what formation are you playing, by the way?
Yeah, I'm going to go for 3. I'm going to go for, what did I decide to go for? I sort of wrote it down.
Was it 3-4?
A 3-4-1-2.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Or if you want to keep it simple, 3-4-3. You know what I mean?
All right.
But
so
I would go 1-2 with the 3 strikers I've got.
All right. So you're playing 3 orthodox centre backs, yeah?
Well, one of them's not quite orthodox centre back.
All right. Okay.
It sort of, he will remind you of having a Cresswell there instead of a centre. Okay.
All right. But on paper, it would read 3 centre backs, yeah? Because then I'm going to say.
Yeah, it would.
All right. So All right. We start with your right centre back. Which club are we going to?
Right. This is the curveball I've thrown in, right? And it's only because this boy has impressed me. All the bits I've seen of him for a while, and then I'll tell you the team. It's Brighton.
Right. 1 second. Oh, okay. Brighton. Is that them? Yeah, that's them. I think I know it is.
No, I forgot his first name, but it's Young Webster.
Oh no, I don't know then. Okay, I think it's Adam. Let me check. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, Adam Webster.
Yeah, you're right. It's Adam Webster. And what convinced me, right? I thought, I could have had off the bench. I could have put Cody in there, right? And I could have put Tarkowski in there. They're on the bench.
Yeah.
But what I've seen in this young boy at Brighton, and I think he's a big part of how well Brighton are doing. And he's, I think he's got potential to be really, really good. And this is what I'm backing him for, mate, potential. And especially with the guy I put him next to, I think he'd bring him on. So, and when I watched the other day, who did get the point with against the other day? Chelsea.
Did he score?
He's the boy who scored the header.
Okay, right. Because I don't know him, but I remember him scoring that good header as well. Yeah, okay, it's him.
He's the boy, and I like the way they set. That was a training ground move, mate. He came from the back. He could see everybody's shirt number and just run past them and just went. He didn't even have to jump. He put that much power in the head. It's all over, mate. It's a goal. It was a cracking header. But watching all that game, some of the tackles, interceptions he made, he stopped Lukaku having a sniff. Not that the service to him was brilliant, but when he did get the ball, that boy was was there. He cut out. I remember him doing a slide tackle against Lerner, taking the ball clean as a whistle, took the ball off him, and then passed it up the line, put Brighton on the attack again. And I think he's a big part of why Brighton are doing well. And that's why I'm backing potential here. You know, he's young, he's fit, he looks good in the air, he's strong. I think he could carry on and do really well. Yeah, time will tell with that one. So I took a punt and left the other two experienced centre backs on the bench, and just went for a young man that's got a lot of potential, and he might fulfill it.
Well, that's it's a good reasoning. Like I said, I don't know. I've heard his name. That's why I knew it was Adam Webster. I saw him score the other day. Yeah, I don't know a lot about him, but I do like it when people throw in those sort of wild cards. And the fact you have left out Tarkowski and Cody, it shows that you think, he might do better in this team than those two. I've got a feeling who I know your centre back will be.
Yeah.
All right, so it's gonna be obvious, I think.
The strong spine. Yeah, it's very obvious. Because
which club?
To me, he's the best centre half in the league. And it's Liverpool.
Camstown, yeah. 1 second. Liverpool. Who and why?
It's Mr. Van Dijk, VVD, Virgil van Dijk, and like I said before, he was part of the missing puzzle for Liverpool, and when they brought him and Alisson as goalkeeper, mate, that was them. Now they had a team. Now they weren't conceding silly goals. Now they strengthened it all up. And if I could have had Alisson with him, I might have done. But I'm happy with Mendy. But I did nothing you can say, mate. They won a league and the Champions League because he was in place, right?
Yeah.
I know there's more to it than that, but he made the difference. To me, that when you bring a centre half and a goalkeeper in like that, that's the difference of winning games and drawing games, you know, or maybe just drawing game and losing a game. They're superb. He's not the perfect centre half in the world, but he's not far from one of the best centre halves in the world. So you've got to have him. You've got to have him in your team. And this is why when I put that young Webster next to him, that's why I'll be confident that next to Van Dijk, that boy will be fine.
Exactly.
I don't think he'll have a problem. He won't have a problem with Van Dijk next to him. And what you do notice with Liverpool, and this is part of the thinking of this team I put together here. Why I've gone to a 3 is, if you watch Liverpool, which they have most possession in most games, they're up to 60 and 70% against most teams. They very rarely have 3 or 4 at the back, right? They have 2 at the back.
Exactly.
You'll see Anderson, Robertson going up there, and what's that?
Trent.
They both go up.
Yep.
And what you'll see is Van Dijk and another Matip or Gomez, whoever they've got, 2 at the back. And they're comfortable to be 2 at the back. They're not bothered. They believe that they can handle whatever breakaway comes. They lose the ball and it comes, they can handle it and wait for their, left and right back, supposedly left and right back, get back and join in. But they're confident enough, Liverpool, that they will attack and leave 2 at the back. And that's part of the thinking of this team I'm doing. That if you had Webster and Van Dijk, they'll be comfortable with it. So
and I said it before, but Van Dijk's value to the team was it was made apparent, for 2 different reasons. When he came, like you said, they won the Champions League, they won the Premier League, and when he got injured, they barely scraped the Champions League qualification. Yeah. So
exactly that, Tish. What a difference! When Pickford, my reserve goalkeeper, when he assaulted.
Yeah, that was bad. That's a job.
What I want my reserve goalkeeper to do. Take out the best player, best defender they've got, right? Right, and he did. How he didn't get 6 months for that, I don't know.
Crazy.
So
crazy.
You're right, Pitch. Exactly that. Premier League, Champions League, and now they couldn't get anywhere near the Premier League once he went missing. And I think that tells you what an influence he was.
Exactly. So yeah, I for me personally, I put him up. He's got to be top 3 centre backs in world football. So yeah, you know, you've got him in your team, right? So your left centre back, which club does he play for?
This is people vote. Well, I might have had an advantage here on the other people before me. Whether people see him as an advantage, I don't know. But it's Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle. Sorry, one sec. I was thinking of someone. Right, one sec. Oh no, because you've picked this team already. I was thinking of Luca Dean. You know, he's gone to Villa, but I think actually you picked Pickford. Right. Newcastle. Norwich. Okay, who is this? Yeah, who? Yeah. Who is this?
Dean was close.
Yeah.
Dean was very close. It's Trippier.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Now, whether I play him on the left or the right, I'm not sure. And probably the right. I picked Trippier, and now he's at Newcastle because I like him for one.
Yeah,
he's been good anywhere he's been, but he's my free kick specialist as well on the pitch.
Oh yeah.
And as I said, the attacking team I've picked with the 3 at the back, he can play like whether you put him on the right of the back 3 or the left. He's been like he'd be like a Cresswell, you know. So he can take any free kick. He's another one that can bang free kicks from anywhere. I think he's cracking at that. And why not? And like I said, Liverpool, like Liverpool, most of the time there will be 2 defending. Trippier can get up the pitch.
Yep.
He can be part of that attacking threat. So that's why I picked him.
I forgot about him. And, you know, obviously, he left this country representing Spurs, hadn't won anything, went to La Liga and won the league with Atletico. Yeah, so England, you know, Southgate played him at left back in what was the last tournament? Euros, isn't it? Yeah. So England international, you know, he was sought after. He probably could have went to other clubs, but obviously he's gone there, I think, for the pay packet, and you know, good luck to him. But he's definitely a solid international player. He's not someone who just sometimes he's a recognised England international. So yeah, that's a good pick because you know I think you're the first person that hasn't picked St. Maximin from Newcastle as well. I'm sure you are.
Yeah. Probably.
I'm sure that you're the only one that hasn't picked St. Maximin on their bench. Right, so that's your back line and your goalkeeper sorted. Right, so are we going to say 4 in the middle? It is, isn't it? Yes, it is.
We are, yeah.
All right, let's go to one of your centre midfielders. Which we go to them first. Yeah, which club for your centre midfield?
We get the easy one out of the way because everyone knows it has to be our boy, West Ham United.
1 second. Yep.
And it is our man Declan Rice. And I'm not picking him because I'm a West Ham supporter either. I mean, he deserves to be there.
Of course.
You know, he deserves to be there. In the Premier League, mate, he's up there with the other, probably 3 or 4 of them that are good defensive midfielders, right? I think there's a couple that Ndidi, maybe Kante, are better than him. I think they're better than Rice. But Rice in the conversation with the probably top 4 or 5 defensive midfielders in the Premier League. So quite happy to have him there. He's been great for us. He's brilliant. He's potential to even get even better, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think I know there's a lot of talk about him being a box-to-box midfielder. I think that's true to a point. I don't believe that the finished article's there yet, and I don't think he scores enough goals if you want to call him a box-to-box midfielder. I don't think his shooting is good enough yet. I've seen training videos over him where he's been fucking hitting top corners with it. But in game time, he's not.
Yeah. No.
You know, so does he get us up the pitch and get us further? Yeah, he does, mate. When he does go on a drill, he's really good, really good. But when you think, if you go back to say Gerrard, you know, who I'd class as one of the best box-to-box midfielders we've had, and maybe Lampard, he's not there. He's nowhere near it. Nowhere near it yet. But does he have potential? I mean, he's 23 now. So, God, mate, 26, 27 is his prime. So, yeah, he could become that. He could become that. I'm not sure he will do with us. But, mate, as a defensive man, I want in this team here, I want him to be a defensive midfielder. Exactly. I don't want him to do too much box-to-box. That's his job, mate. Because I've got a back three in there, right? I've got a young lad behind him. I want him to protect them. I've got Van Dijk doing his shit, and Trippier's going to be popping up the pitch. I want him to be a defensive midfielder. So that's his role. That would be his role in this team, and that's where he's at his best. That's where he's at his best.
And he can conserve his energy because he ain't getting, running onto the right wing, left wing. Just protect that back line and have the same energy that you have, but when it's needed.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think he does it with West Ham more out of necessity.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we need someone to, pull us out of the shit and just get us up forward, get us going. And he takes it on board, which is really admirable. He takes it on his shoulders to do that, But in this team, I want him being a defensive midfielder. If I believe this team took the pitch, we would have 70% of the ball. So he has no reason to do that. People are going to be defending against you more than anything else. And what you've got to counter then is the counter-attack. So that will be his job, to make sure it doesn't happen. So.
All right, so this will be interesting for me. Which club is going to partner him in midfield? Like, which club are we going to for his midfield partner?
I'm going Man City.
Okay. One sec. Right, yeah.
And the ultimate player, I think, Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best players in the league. And what he does, and I think he's fabulous. And I think there's no team in the world he doesn't walk into now. None. Yeah. He's one of the best midfielders in the world, mate. The passing ability of that player, the balls he pings through, just his strength. He's got it all. He's got it all, and I want him to be next to Rice, but our attacking midfielder coming through the middle, mate. That's what I'd like. Right, Declan, you sit back there. I'll show you how it's done, because he has got a shot on him, hasn't he?
Exactly.
He can finish from anywhere. He can ping a ball. He can thread the needle. He can hit a ball from 30 yards. He can hit top corners. I don't think there's anything that boy can't do.
Left foot, right foot. Yeah.
Yeah. Left foot, right, anything, header. He can. The boy can do anything, and it's very hard not to have him in your team. It's very hard not to have him, to give you that threat.
Well, everything you've just said about him in regards to his attributes, I said that, and I also said, if you could pigeonhole him to one position, he's the best player in the world, I believe, for whatever position he is. He's the best in the world for me. So yeah, I rate him like highly. So yeah, you can't. I just don't think you can, unless you go for Edison in goal or Diaz as centre back. Other than that, for Man City, it's got to be De Bruyne. It has to be.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Has to. Yeah. All right. So let's go. All right. Which club for your right midfielder of the four?
Right. Yeah, we're going for a bit of youth now, so I'm going to go to Arsenal.
Arsenal. One sec. Arsenal. There we go. Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to go some Japanese rice wine. Sake.
Who?
Saka.
Oh, I thought. Yeah. Yeah, Saka.
We go with Saka. So,
Why?
He's impressive, man. He's a right winger. That it's speed and technical ability. I don't think he's anywhere near it yet. Anywhere near it. But again, I like to see potential. And what I really did like about him, probably him and that Smith Rowe, when everything about them was falling apart, right? With all these so-called superstar players they got, Aubameyang and Lacazette and this Pepe, they're the two boys that pulled Arsenal out of the crack. They're the two boys that were trying. They were making the effort to try and drag the pros along. You know, the experienced players, the superstars. They were the ones pushing it. And I'm going, wow, how mature is that for these two young boys to be doing that? And they relied on them to do it, which was embarrassing, I think, for them players. Embarrassing. So that tells you their character's really good, both of them boys. And they've got great character and they've got great effort. And they must have a great work ethic too. They must have to do that. And lucky for them, like, especially last season for Arsenal, they were in turmoil. And it was their big player, and it's shown since. But Aubameyang now, nobody even knows what's happening with him. You know what I mean? They've stripped him of the captaincy, you know, because he's just not doing it.
I don't think he'll play again.
Yeah, you got people like Xhaka who keep getting sent off because he's too rash. He's an idiot, mate. But these are experienced pros, and you've got the likes of Saka and Smith Rowe showing them up, and that's why. Is Saka the best right winger in the world? Probably not. But his character, for me, I'd have him in because I know I'm going to get 100% out of that boy. If he can drag that lot at Arsenal along, I think he can drag anyone along. He'll have the effort, and he won't fault for his effort. So yes, I'd love to have him on my side, mate. Love to.
You know, he's versatile. He was played or deployed at fullback, so having him on your right midfielder, right wing, he will track back and do a good job defensively. He's left-footed. He creates goals. He scores goals. Like you said, he's got a good mentality. I've seen him in interviews, and he comes across really well. So, you know, he's definitely he's more than a bright prospect for me. He's already let people know I am a Premier League player at a young age. Plays for England. You know, he's taken on all that pressure, including the England situation and all of that, and you know, he's come through that. So he's going to be a top Premier League player. You know, he's already doing bits, Yeah, and as well as I'll say, with my back three, I want him to be able to track back, and he's got it. He's got the energy and the pace and the wherewithal to get back and help out if needed. Yeah, yes. That's part of having him there too. All right, so I want to see if your left midfielder is similar to Saka in his traits. All right, which club for your left midfielder?
I say he's my left midfielder, but I think this boy could play anywhere. And it's a bit of a curveball. It's a bit of a curveball. Where are we going? We're going to Aston Villa.
Okay, Villa. Oh. Yeah. Nah. Okay, who? I don't.
Yeah, no, this boy can swap around from the left with De Bruyne, and this is what's in my head. They can switch it about a bit because he's. And remember, I've got a midfield four, so this guy doesn't have to be always out on the left. He can come in, and this is what's in my head. And it's Mr. Coutinho.
Okay, yeah, I thought, but that's what maybe, See, you've exploited the transfer market.
Yes.
Yeah, but Coutinho. Okay, yeah. Why did you pick him?
Mate, because regardless of how he's gone out, was he Real Madrid?
No, Barca.
Was it Barca? Sorry, Barcelona. You're right, Barcelona. He's had a disaster out there, hasn't he? Really, nothing's really worked from out there. But I remember watching him for Liverpool, mate, and oh man, there's some players, you know, over the years, especially the recent, say, 15 years or 20 years of the Premier League, that just stick out to you, like a Gianfranco Zola. You go, wow, you know, and Coutinho is up there with that. He was unbelievable for Liverpool. So I just cannot not pick him because he's so impressive. He was so good in his prime. Now, whether he's at his prime now, we don't know. But even on his debut, he scored for Villa.
Exactly.
You know, he was there to score a goal for him. The guy, I just liked him. I think he's a great player. Technically, fantastic. Oh, I loved him as a player. Like so, I used to love Gianluca Vialli at Chelsea too. Much as I didn't like Chelsea, you had to appreciate how good that boy was. You had to Gianfranco Zola. You just could not go wow, and a gentleman with it, you know. And you go, what a player! What a player they got there, and he's up there like that. And people will look at, you know, as a striker, Mo Salah. I will tell you this, right? Obviously, I'll pick the Liverpool player. Mo Salah's not in my team because I think he's a diving cheat. And I don't look. Do I think he's a great striker? Yeah, he's unbelievable striker. But I didn't pick him because he's a cheating fucker, right? Yeah. And I don't think Coutinho was, and I don't think Vialli was, or I don't think Gianluca was. Zola was Zola. They're gentlemen, and they were good players, and they played the game. So that's one of the reasons I brought Coutinho. I like him, man. I think he's a great player. I hope he does well for Villa. I don't think he's going to be the player we saw at Liverpool. Probably not. But you've got to appreciate how good he was and what he brings to you. What he brings to you. You know, if I'd love to have signed Coutinho at West Ham. That would give the fan base a lift, realising this world-class player. This is a world-class player. Whether he is now is debatable. But the boy was world-class. I mean, it gives a lift. It gives a lift to the dressing room. I saw that, and I'll tell you what really convinced me. They interviewed, after that game, he scored a goal, and the young boy for Villa scored as well.
Jacob something.
Yeah. Him.
His surname might be Jacob. I'll check.
Yeah, it's something like that, man. Is it? Yeah, it's something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, Jacob, I'll get it now. His name is Jacob Ramsey.
Ramsey, that's the boy.
Yeah.
When I done the interview, the two of them together, the smile on that Ramsey's face, standing next to that boy, was, unmistakable. He was just honoured, right, just to stand next to him, and Coutinho giving him credit. It was like a kid in a sweetie shop. He couldn't believe it. So that tells you that he will have influence there, Coutinho, with them young players. And there's a player I thought about picking for my bench, that Ramsey, because I think he's another. He's got another future ahead of him. That boy, he's got a lot of talent, great prospect. But you could see the smile on his face that you're standing next to Coutinho, having an interview. That means a lot. That means a lot. Of course.
The thing is, Coutinho is only 29. And, you know, if you check his stats at Barca, they weren't that bad. It was just he didn't play a lot. But, you know, when he did, his stats were decent. They were decent. At that age, you know, technically you should still be in your prime. And, you know, he should still be fresh. This might be a new challenge. He's playing under Gerrard, who he played with in that, you know, a great Liverpool side. So I believe that we are going to see, you know, a player almost similar to what left the Premier League. Maybe not, because he's in a different team, but I still think we're going to see a great version of Felipe Coutinho.
Yeah, I wonder that, pitch. You know what I mean? That's what I put him in. It's a punt. It's a bit of a curveball. But I wonder. We know he's not fully fit yet. And as well as he was at Barcelona in a time of turmoil for Barcelona too. So, you know, with Messi leaving and all the crap that's going on, their financial situation, they're in a mess. So this might give him that new lease of life, and he go, right. I mean, he knows the Premier League very well. You know, you don't have to bed him in. He's just got to get fit enough to be it, and Villa being good enough. And to me, the fact that they brought him in and other signings better make them a threat to us.
Of course they do. Yeah.
To a top 6 spot. It really does. Right? It just might give them that lift.
Right. So before I say something else on Villa, do you think that do you think he has the X factor so much so that Man United was comfortably winning that game 2-0? He comes on 69 minutes, and not only does he score, but they come from 2-0 down. Do you think that he gave the Villa players a lift because it's Philippe Coutinho, and do you think he frighten the Man United players. You understand? Because no, Coutinho's on the pitch.
Exactly. He was part of their first goal that Ramsey scored, right?
Yeah.
He was chinking inside their box, walking around them, and I think it was Fred that nipped it off his toes, went to Ramsey, and he banged it in. Right? He was part of that goal, you know. We thought it was an assist for Coutinho, but it was Fred that kicked it off his toes. But he was just about to pass that ball to Ramsey.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was the difference, right? And Man United melted once he was on.
Yep.
And melted. Right. And then he gets the equaliser. And if that game had gone on another 10 minutes, Villa were going to get the winner. Right. There was only one team in it then. You know what I mean?
So
one team
in about 25 minutes, including injury time, he's, you know, on his first game back, he's made a big difference to that team. So what could he potentially do over the course of, you know, the next half of the season or whatever it is?
Exactly. And only time will tell. But I could be going, right, now Coutinho's a punt here. I could be saying at the end of the season, what a fucking signing that was.
Exactly.
You know, who knows?
Just on Villa, I saw an article today. I always see articles. I see articles, but I don't read them. But I saw that Villa are interested in bringing Suarez back to the Premier League as well.
Yeah. Tricky one, that one. Quality again. He's a quality player. You know, he... apart from the biting side of it, he's not bad.
Exactly.
Stop fighting people. Stop.
You know, whether you've got him as a backup striker to Ings and whoever, or Watkins, you know, just to have him another sort of star name. So.
And you got to remember, Coutinho, Liverpool's success since Coutinho is partly due to Coutinho because of the money. What did they get? 130 million. Really smart Liverpool. They sold Coutinho and then bought really well. And that money set Liverpool up to get to where they are now, you know, or get to a Premier League title, to get to... It was that money that got them going, because it was one of the biggest transfers ever, isn't he? One of them.
I can't remember what it was. I can't remember. Was it 115, 120? I don't even know. But they
it was over the 1,100,000 anyway. You know, the first time to be over 100 million. It was 15, 120, 130, whatever it was. Massive money back then for a transfer. And Liverpool took advantage of that and sold it. It's a great sell. And it just shows you where teams like us, where we're scared of selling Declan Rice, what can be done with that money to set you up further.
Exactly.
We shouldn't be scared of selling Declan Rice. We should never be scared of that. If the right price comes in, sell him and build on it.
Yeah.
What we're scared of is we don't build on it. Right? That's what everyone's scared of. But if you spend right, like Liverpool have done, you can do better things. And don't rely on one player, you know, to get you everywhere.
Exactly.
We have to be... If you want to think like a top four club, that's how you think. You think, right, no one player's big in the club. If we have to sell him and improve the squad, that's what you do. And you move on. And Liverpool have done it. And they're not the only ones. Nottingham done it with Bale.
Villa done it with Grealish.
Bale, right? As much as people want to slag Tottenham off, they sold Bale for ridiculous money. They bought about 7 or 8 players in, and eventually they've done the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? It took them a while, but they got to a Champions League final. Might not have won it, but they got to a Champions League final. They were top 4 regulars. They did lose a 2-horse race and come third. That weren't good, but they were contenders. They weren't contenders before. Now they were. So
exactly,
we shouldn't be scared as West Ham of selling Rice. All we want is to get the right money and make sure the investment is right. If the investment is right, we'll be a better club for it.
Yep, that's right. We've got 3 more subs. Right, so are we saying 2 and then a striker or 3 forwards?
Well, they're 3 forwards, guys, because I'm going all out here. All right.
So
I would have one
on the right.
I would have, sort of a right and a left, and one just behind. That's how I'd set up. Even though it'd look like a front 3, right? A bit like Liverpool. It'd look like a front 3, but I'd have one sitting a little bit deeper than the front 2.
All right.
But
so
call it a front 3. It might be just easier to call it a front 3, probably.
All right, so I'll leave it to you. Which club are we going to first? And you could tell me, you know, where he's actually playing. So which club?
We're going to the club that everyone loves. It's the fucking Spurs.
Right, this can only be one of two players.
It can only be one. Yeah, it was because I haven't known which one.
Is that...
But the reason I picked, when I say to you, I'd like this boy to play a little bit deeper at times behind them two, it's Harry Kane.
Right.
Because that boy can play as a number 10.
Mm.
No doubt about it. When he comes deep, receives the ball, he can ping a pass, he can make things happen, he's quality. But he doesn't always have to. When he's got De Bruyne there behind him, he doesn't always have to be. But as much as people, he's not having the greatest season there, Kane, with Tottenham. That's a lot to do with the turmoil that went on, you know, in the summer, where he thought he was going to get out of there, and he didn't. I think that affected his game. But I think if you look at his stats in the Premier League since till this season, and I think he'll still end up scoring, 15, 20 goals. His stats, goal scoring is unbelievable. The 20 plus nearly most seasons. Mm-hmm. He just scores and scores and scores. He's a great finisher. I'd say this season, maybe not his best, but I don't think any team wouldn't want him as a striker for him. Any team, mate. The boy's a great striker.
He is.
And with the two boys I got with him, I think he'll do all right. With De Bruyne behind him, I think he'll get enough service. With Coutinho, De Bruyne, and Stargate, he'll get the service. He'll score goals. And plus, he's part of the assist machine as well.
Exactly.
Because he can drop deep, he can pick the ball up, and he can ping it to his. He can play them through balls just as well as any number 10. So yeah, Harry Kane's in there.
England captain. He will be England's record goal scorer. He potentially will be the Premier League all-time. He's the only one that's looking like challenging Shearer as long as he stays in the Premier League. So, he guarantees you goals and assists as well. So,
yeah.
All right. So we've got two more left. Who is your right forward or whatever you want, or left? It's up to you actually.
Right, left.
Or which club? Sorry.
They can switch. They can do what they like.
Which club? I know we've got Man U and Leicester.
We've got Man U and Leicester, right? So I'm going for the boy at Leicester.
Okay, one sec. Leicester. 1 second. Leeds. There they are. 1 minute. Okay, Leicester.
And it's Mr. Jamie Vardy. And you can't. Even at his age now, mate, his pace is just frightening, isn't it? It's frightening to get him behind. The boy is such. I think it's a great finisher. I think people don't realise how good a finisher he is. The goals I've seen from him over the years, he's a great finisher, mate. And it ain't just about his pace. He does finish goals that he shouldn't.
Yeah.
He takes on shots that he shouldn't and fucking bangs them in. I think he's a great player. And if you've got that pace running, any defence are scared of it.
Yep.
But as a defender myself, you was always scared of someone that was that quick. You go, shit, how do I play this thing? You don't know which way to go, whether to get close to him or not. He will turn, he's gone. If he knocks the ball past you, you're gone. You just can't turn and get to him, And he scares defenders. And that's a lot of the time gives him chances. When he receives the ball up front, they're scared of him already. If they dive in, they won't dive in.
Yeah.
He's already made that defender's mind that if you dive in, mate, I'm just going to flick it and gone.
See you later. Exactly.
You better get this right, son. And if I was him, that's what I'd be telling them. You dive in on me, mate, you better get that timing right because I'm gone. See you later. Bye-bye. And that's what he does. And he's, Leicester, he helped them win a title. It's Leicester. You know what I mean? He weren't the only one, but he helped them win a title. And for a team like Leicester, for that, you needed a striker that could do that. You also needed good service from people like Mahrez.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They gave him great service, and I don't see why De Bruyne and Kane couldn't be feeding him as well, and
Exactly.
Coutinho. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This boy will get onto it. You give
And
him
Saka.
that ball, and Saka as well. Yeah, I've got Saka doing a little bit of speed down that wing as well. Yeah, no, I like him. I know.
Wow.
In an ideal world, he might not be as effective in this team because maybe teams will be more defensive, where he won't have that space behind the back four as he normally would when they're defending and counter-attacking Leicester. So he might not be as effective because of that. But
Yeah.
I still think, he's got pace. He's still got skill. He ain't just a one-trick pony, I don't think. That lump it off the. I think he can do. He's good with his feet. He's good at finishing. He can beat a player. So it isn't just about him running past players,
Yeah.
but he does make defenders get in the back foot,
Exactly.
and that's what we want.
And, you know, people like De Bruyne and Kane, they can do that, you know, eye of a needle pass. So even if he hasn't got the space he wants, he's still going to have a certain amount of space. And those players can actually, you know, pinpoint balls. So, and he's a goal scorer, proven Premier League goal scorer. So, you know, the funny thing is, when I came up with this idea, not December just gone, the one before, I done one and David done one. And I put, Vardy was my striker as well. So yeah, I did put him in my one from each team. Obviously, there's new players in the Premier League and all that, but then I picked him. So yeah, I won't disagree with you picking him because I picked him. And you're the first person, obviously, that's picked him, you know, on this one.
He looks like a player that could probably do it till he's 40 as well. You know?
Yeah. And
He's just so fit.
you know, he retired from England because he must have thought, I'm not wasting my time. Harry Kane plays, and I think he's done that to prolong his, you know, his club career. So, yeah, he doesn't look like he's slowing down at all to me.
And another thing what I like about him, some people may like this or not, when he scores a goal, he gives it to the away fans. Fucking great.
Yeah, he is a little shit.
I
He
like
is,
that
yeah.
little bit of nastiness. Get that up,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I like that.
I've got a feeling I know who your last player is, and this is just
Well.
more goals, if it is. Right, so, last club has to be, is obviously Man United. This will be, you know, your left forward or whatever you want to call it. It's a striker, one of the two, whatever.
Really
So-
wants to play, mate. I don't care where he plays, mate. He can play where he fucking wants.
gotta
And this
be-
is my point. Now, this striker here, I don't want him tracking back. I don't want him going anywhere. Just fucking stay up there and score goals, right? Because that's what he does. And it's Cristiano Ronaldo. And to me, is he an obvious pick? Probably, because his stats speak for themselves. Like, how can you not? I just don't think I've got a choice.
Nah.
I just don't have a choice, mate. If we'd done this a year ago, Peach, I would probably be, I'll be probably saying, right, God, I wish I could pick Ronaldo or Messi.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
You would.
And now you
You
can.
would.
And now you can. How can you not have him in? You know, you've got to. You've got to go, oh, my God, I've got Ronaldo. I don't care what his form's like at the moment. I don't care if he's not happy at Man United and they're in turmoil. I don't care. The boy is the best striker we've ever seen.
Yep.
He's up there with Messi and Maradona. He surpasses Pele. Now, Pele, for many, many years in our generation, was regarded that you'll never see a player like him. It was unbelievable. Skill, everything about it. But these boys have surpassed what Pele done by a long way. I mean, how can you have like over 300 so appearances for and got 400 odd goals?
Exactly.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
We're happy with a striker that might score one every 4 games. Right? This guy he's scoring more goals than games.
And that was his Real Madrid record in all competitions was more goals than games for Real Madrid.
Yeah, for Real Madrid. Yes, right. That's unbelievable. You know, that just it doesn't happen. There's no other striker can do that. None. And some of the goals he scored, are just, they're on every highlight reel, aren't they? Some of the overhead, some of the headers he scored, some of the, waltzing past players, bang. Some of the shots, man, it's every kind of goal that you can think of, he scored. And regularly. Not a one-off. You know what I mean? We can look back at Andy Carroll's overhead kick against Palace and go, wow, that was brilliant. He done 50 of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the difference between this amazing player at his age, fit as a fiddle, and I just think he's probably playing at the wrong team at the moment. Yeah. Because he needs to be left alone on his own and do what you want. You do what you want. You tell Harry Kane, right, and Vardy how you want to play it. You tell them, right? And if they're not scoring, you will be. So that's the other. There's one. I know there's not one with all these stupid systems these coaches play. This is the one player that, forget the system. He's up there to score goals. He does what he wants. I would give him that.
Yeah.
And you tell me how you want to play up front with these two boys, how it works. And I'm sure between the three of them, they'll work it out. And you'd have one hell of a front three. I'd love that front three at West Ham.
That's goals. Goals guaranteed. Goals galore. And, he's scored the most international goals. And he's still going in regards to setting, new records. Champions League, he may well be the top goal scorer in that competition of all time. He started out as a winger. He's evolved his game each season. And you're right, if you play him, if you play to his strengths, now it's about keeping him in and around the 18-yard box, minimum work off the ball, and you put balls in the box and he's going to score. Even when we played them recently, we was in a car coming back from football with the boys, and when we lost 2-1 when we had a penalty saved at the end, and we was 1-0 up, weren't we? And I was, we were. And then I was like, Ronaldo will score. Like, he's just annoying. Like, we was playing well, he will score. And then even the goal he scored is, he reacted fastest, and then he got the rebound, and he reacted. Yeah, so it was like he scores, he guarantees you goals, and you have to respect. If you don't like him, you have to respect him, and his stats do not lie. Do you understand? Like, he's a phenomenon.
It can't be denied with his stats, Nah. And there's the difference, players that are at his level and players that are not. And if you look at, the cross, they came in for Bowen for us to get a 3-3 draw.
Yeah.
Ronaldo scores that,
Yes. Yeah.
And
he scores.
If he did chest it in, he would have chested it in. If he didn't head it, he scored. He scores that.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does.
Ronaldo would score a chance that's twice as hard as that, because that was a sitter. So,
that was
last minute of the game, with a bit harder, he's got the coolness about him and composure to, score. So, your team is very, very attacking.
Is he annoying sometimes? His attitude.
Exactly.
But I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? As a West Ham supporter, I'll moan about it. He does my head in, right? I'm fucking annoying, always whinging. Right? But as a player, you just can't deny his stats. Unfortunately, you just can't. You just wow. How can you not have him in there? It's amazing how you couldn't.
Nah, you can't. And he's one of those players that, providing they're not all little softies and he shouted at me, he's the one that will motivate you. Like the Portuguese team, they're scared to disappoint him. So it's like he gets the best out of you on the pitch. So that's your team is right. Let's just go back through your team. Right. So normally I can remember these quite easily because I visualize it. Right. So in goal you've got Chelsea's Edouard Mendy. I would say Bernard. Your right centre back is Brighton's Adam Webster. Your centre back is Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool, and your left centre back is Newcastle's new signing Kieran Trippier. Your right, your right midfielder is Arsenal's promising youngster Bukayo Saka. Your left midfielder is Villa's new signing, Brazilian international Philippe Coutinho. And the two players in the middle is Declan Rice, predominantly playing as a out-and-out defensive midfielder, and Kevin De Bruyne playing as a orthodox centre midfielder. Then your front three, which is guaranteed goals, is Premier League winner with Leicester, which is no mean feat. That is Jamie Vardy. England captain, Premier League Golden Boot winner, how many times in the last few seasons, and he will be, like I said, he will be England's top goal scorer, and he will potentially be the Premier League's record goal scorer when he finishes playing. That is Harry Kane. And, Spurs aside, and, the way he talks aside and all that, we cannot deny that he is a quality striker. And before Ronaldo and Lukaku came at the time, he was Aguero had stopped playing it. He was the best striker in the Premier League. These two entered the fray, but Lukaku hasn't been great for Chelsea. So, but I'm saying he's up there as one of the top strikers in the Premier League and in world football. And then to top it off, just to give any opponents, zero chance. Yeah, any hope. You throw in. You can only describe him as a phenomenon. He's doing numbers that I don't think will be beaten. And I think his motivation is to keep breaking records because he wants to leave an unbeatable legacy. So with that mentality, with that stats, those goals and that, you've picked the ultimate striker. I won't even say modern day. I would say the ultimate striker in Cristiano Ronaldo, just to top it off. Are you happy? Yeah.
I'm pretty happy. There was a couple of hums and haws about a couple of positions, like Trippier's a punt, young Webster in the back line's a punt. But I think we might be talking differently in a couple of years about that young Webster. Hopefully him. I think Ivan Toney's got a tough job to get on the pitch.
Jeez.
Only injuries he's getting on the pitch of that lot. But no, I'm fairly happy with that because I think that could work.
Definitely. And, when this goes out, then we will put the team on the screen so everybody gets to see, what it looks like visually. But it could work, and at the very least, you're going to outscore whoever you play. At the very least, you're going to outscore them with those players in the team.
I think if you've got Rice and Van Dijk in your team, you're going to stop a lot of threats coming through the middle. Let's put it that way.
Definitely.
And then you've got De Bruyne in front of them as well, and he can put a tackle in. So and it's just. But like I said, I do believe that with Trippier being part of a back three, I think it'll be more. Most of the game, it'll be more of a back two.
Yeah.
And you've got Van Dijk and young Webster, and then you've got Saka and Trippier who can track back.
And Rice can drop in and make it a free.
And you've got Rice in front of them to stop that threat. So, I'm happy with that. I think it could work.
Well, this was, for me to come back and do this, because it's been a while, you was a perfect guest, if I call you that. And, learning your team on camera is definitely more satisfying than knowing it before we do this. So, so I thank you, Kieran, for doing it, for taking part, and putting out a very, very strong squad, a very strong team. So, I haven't gone back to compare everybody's, but your team will definitely outscore everybody's, 100%. And now I know why Timo Pukki didn't get a look in. Not needed.
Not needed.
Right, so I'm gonna just say my piece, and then Kieran can say, you'll see Kieran on this channel regularly, doing whatever we're doing at the time. He's always on here. And, like I said, he is the channel mascot. I don't think any other channel's got a mascot. And if they have, it's probably just a little teddy bear. But ours is actually a real lifelike mascot. And, Kieran, he says it how it is. and that's what I like. Doesn't sugarcoat or try and be politically correct or, you know, what everybody else wants to hear. No, and that's what I appreciate and admire in Kieran. So, Kieran, you know, I would just say at the end of the show, did you enjoy this, and would you encourage anybody else to do it, and, you know, etc., etc.?
Absolutely. I remember when you first asked me, I told you to shove it up your ass, didn't you? It's too hard.
Back off.
And it wasn't hard. But it did make you think. It got you thinking about, Jesus, how, you know what I mean? Everyone thinks that's simple, one from each team. Yeah, just get him, but no, it's hard. You know what I mean? And I had to really juggle and think about, you know, like I say, I brought in Pickford there, you know, on the bench, and then I'm sacrificing, maybe I might need Calvert-Lewin or Ndidi. That might have been the only reason I wouldn't have picked Mendy is Ndidi. I rate him. But he's been on the missing list for a while now, hasn't he? I don't know whether he's been injured or he's off as well. I haven't seen him play a lot lately. But yeah, but I did want a good keeper on the bench, because I really like West Ham's situation at the moment with Fabianski and Areola, and I wanted that in my team, that I could rely on that keeper. I just didn't want to, you know, pick a Norwich keeper or, you know, somebody just to fill the space. I wanted a good keeper, and that's why. And it is enjoyable to do, but I will find when you do it, you will find yourself changing things. Go, I forgot about him. I can only have one. I can only have one from each team, and that's the point of it. It's one from each team. It makes you think. It isn't that easy, but once you come up with a team and look at it and go, wow, I wouldn't mind having that team. I wouldn't mind being able to put that team out, right? And yeah, there is a lot of satisfaction from it. So yeah, it's a good idea, man. Well done for you. I've enjoyed it. It's been very good.
Well, like I said, I've enjoyed, you know, us sitting down doing this, and it was the perfect guest to, you know, come back with this, because it's been a little while. You know, whoever's got to the end of the video, I hope you have. I hope you've, you know, stay tuned in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And this concept is open to anybody. If you want to come on and do this, you're more than welcome, as long as you're happy to be on camera. With that being said, Kieran, as West Ham fans, only one thing to say, mate.
Oh, yes. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Like West Ham taxman, you don't wanna see the gang vex, man. Pull up in 2 litre dingers and press that.
Selling bag, going ham in West like Declan Rice. Doing like